All right, so here we got a single gate. It's going to be on a slope. You can see it's already at a slope. In order to figure that out, you want to bring a string line out, bring it to level. You put your line level in the middle, make sure that it is level. Mark your post where it's level. At that point, you can take that measurement from the top of the post down, which is 7 inches. Then you'll order a 7-inch slope for your gate. Pause.
Okay.
Now that we have our 7-inch slope gate, you measure from the top of your gate down to the bottom of the rail. It's always about 7.5. It's better just to go to 8 inches. So when you measure for your top hinge, you measure 8 inches down from the top of your post and mark it. That'll be where the top of your hinge goes. For the bottom hinge, you measure from the top of your gate down to that rail. In this case, we have 63 inches, so take away 4 inches. Once you take 4 inches off, you're going to be at 59 inches. You'll come through and mark 59 inches. So now that you have your mark at 59 and at 8, you can put your hinges on. As you go for your hinge installation, it's important to make sure that your insert is square to the inside of your post. If you feel there's a little gap on this side or that side, you can always apply pressure the other way with your post to make sure you ensure that it is level. Now you'll see that it's nice and tight and it's secure. And you continue to put the other screws in the holes that are provided from the manufacturer. When adjusting your hinges, you want to make sure they're the same and approximately 1 inch reveal on both sides. You can find this out by measuring from the post itself to the inside of this part of the hinge, which is 1 inch, and then you tighten it up. Tighten it up at this point. You just want to get it about finger tight until you hang the gate. After you hang the gate, you can do your final adjustments and make sure it is tight. Once you've adjusted your gate, then you put your gate into your hinge. You want to make sure the reveal between your hinge and your gate side is tight. After you get your top screw, check underneath the hinge to make sure it's tight. You can even apply pressure at a different angle to ensure a better grab on your gate side. Repeat the same process on the bottom. If it isn't, you can pick it up to make sure it falls in. Now you can go to the back part of your gate and fill in the other holes with the rest of the screws. Make sure again that this is square and tight with your gate side. You can also go with that angle to get a better bite. You don't want to go at too big of an angle so your screw doesn't sit flush once it's completed, but only enough to where it can kick itself back over and ensure the maximum amount of tightness. Once you have your gate hung, you want to ensure that your reveals are the same on both sides. You measure, I'm at 1 inch. I'll come back over, I'm at 1 inch. If the gate is built incorrectly, you can always even that up with your hinges. After you've got it hung, you've seen how I hand tightened it before. Now I want to ensure that these are tight. So I'll go through and adjust these to make sure. And you can measure top and bottom reveal by here, or by measuring from the bottom of your bolt to where your nut's at. I'm at 1 3/4 inches. I can come right here and be at 1 3/4 inches. If anything on your top hinge, you can be just a 32nd further that way, a 16th, because it's going to sag that way a little bit, and optically it'll seem different. You just want to give her a few yanks, make sure everything's nice and snug. Okay, now at this point of the gate process, you want to put something underneath your gate to make sure it holds so you're just above that post so you can insert your cross brace. As you put your cross brace, you want to find the right location for it on the bottom, which should be in about the middle of the bottom rail there and just past it. Then the same up top. Once you've desired your perfect location here, you want to go about midway, if not a little past, and mark your cross brace. Be sure to put your cross brace on the other side of the gate. I just took it from this side because the post is in the way on the other side. This will make this process easier. As you get ready to hang your cross brace, I like to use my cut end, which is on this side, at the bottom of the gate, and the powder coated end at the top. You want to place it up against the gate as you did when you took the measurement, and make sure it is where you want it. Once you've got it where you want it, set your first screw at the top. Verify that you have enough drop in here to allow for the sag after you install a second screw. Once these two screws are in place, you can add another two. One right after the other. You do want to make sure it is on the rail and in between that little area. It is important to make sure the screw sits in the middle of this and not cockeyed or off to the side. Try to keep your distances about the same to keep it uniform. Now that we've got that, you can see that we've only got 4 screws on the gate minus the cross brace. It's important to know that when you're hanging the gate to begin with, that the high screw is going to be on the low side and the low screw is going to be on the high side. This is what allows the gate to rack. So you do have the maximum amount of slope. If this was reversed, it would not slope up and down. But now that we've got the gate where we want it, we can go through and finish putting screws in all of it. One on the top, one on the bottom. Once we get to this side, we want to make sure our reveal on the front is even and the gate's not cockeyed. If the gate is cockeyed, you can cock it the other way past that point and put screws in, and this will help make the gate straight. Now that we screwed off the other side of the gate, we're going to come and ensure the front of the gate, if you hold your hand flat, push the gate up against it, that it's flat all the way down. You'll notice no screws are on this side. You need to go through and pin 2 screws on each one. Alright, so now that you've got your gate all secured and it's flush and everything's tightened up, you're going to install your latch. When you install your latch, you want to find about 3/4 of the way up. If you go about 3/4 of the way up, it'll help support the flex and make it so kids can't come and just hit it. Because if you put it down too far, like into the middle, sometimes you'll get complaints and homeowners will want that changed. So you go through, get about 3/4 and install your latch. So now that you've secured the paddle part of your latch, you're going to install this piece. When you do it, you want to kind of place it in a spot, hold it with your hand, and lift this part open. Then you want to make sure you're just below that piece there. So that way, as it expands and contracts, it'll go down, not up. So now that you've figured out that location, you can go ahead and screw off your gate. Now your gate is secure, everything's nice and tight, your reveals are the same, use the top of the post are perfect. You're not just a fuzz above, because when you put that cap on, it's going to be perfect. If you need to put a cap on your post to ensure that it's the same, do so. Check it out. You open that thing, close, I mean it is pretty. Thank you for watching.